The Empress's impossible choice. Jace Orion never expected his life to change on an ordinary morning in the Imperial hangar. He was a simple human mechanic. He repaired engines, tightened bolts, and kept old ships alive when everyone else said they were scrap. He liked quiet work, far away from war, far away from politics, and especially far away from the alien Empress whom the entire galaxy feared. But fate did not care about what Jace wanted. It came for him in a single moment that shook two worlds. The morning began with the ground trembling under his boots. A deep vibration rolled through the hangar like thunder. Every worker froze, every soldier straightened, and every mechanic looked toward the giant doors with fear in their eyes. Because only one person traveled with such a presence, only one person could make the air itself feel heavy. The Empress. Her arrival was not normal. She never visited the lower levels. She never walked among common workers. And she never came without purpose. Jace wiped his hands on a cloth, confused. "She can't be here," he whispered under his breath. "What would the Empress want in a mechanic bay?" The soldiers in the hangar suddenly dropped to one knee. The engineers stepped back, trembling, and the legendary armored guard stepped aside to reveal her. The Empress walked in like a storm wrapped in silver light. Her armor shimmered like 1,000 stars, her crown glowed with living energy, and her eyes, bright and sharp like blue fire, scanned the room as if searching for someone specific. Jace felt his heartbeat shake his chest. He tried to look away, but he felt her gaze pull toward him like gravity. Then it happened. Something no one expected. Something no one could explain. She stopped in front of him. A human, a mechanic, a nobody in a world of warriors and kings. Her royal guard looked confused. The commanders looked panicked. But the Empress did not care about their reaction. She raised her hand, silencing the room. Her voice echoed with calm power. "Human," she said. "What is your name?" Jace swallowed, unable to speak for a moment. Jace Orion," he finally managed. The Empress studied him like he was a puzzle that only she understood, like she was seeing something inside him that no one else ever noticed. "You fix ships," she said. It was not a question. It was a truth, spoken like a judgment. "Yes, Empress," he replied, trying not to shake. "I repair engines, fighters, transports, whatever needs help." She stepped closer, close enough that he could feel the energy radiating from her armor, close enough that her shadow fell over him like a cloak. "And yet," she said softly, "you have no fear standing before me." Jace wanted to deny it. He wanted to say he was terrified, but somehow her presence did not crush him the way it crushed others. Her power did not make him bow. It made him curious. It made him alert. It made him feel alive. The Empress watched him, reading his face. Then she spoke the words that shattered the galaxy's expectations. She spoke the words that shattered the galaxy's expectations. She said, "I choose you. I will be my personal guard." Silence fell over the hangar like a dropped mountain. A mechanic chosen over elite soldiers. A human chosen over her strongest alien warriors? Everyone waited for Jace to collapse, to refuse, to scream, to run. But Jace stood frozen. Not because he was brave, not because he wanted the position, but because he did not understand why. "Empress," one of her commanders protested. "He is untrained. He has no combat background. He is human." Her eyes snapped toward the commander. "And yet, he is the one I choose," she said. "Do not question me again." The commander bowed instantly. No one dared speak after that. Jace tried to find his voice. "Why me?" he asked softly. "I am just a mechanic." The Empress looked at him with a strange softness, a calm expression that did not match her ruthless reputation. "You see what others overlook. You fix what others abandon. You stand without trembling, and you face danger with open eyes. You are exactly what I need." He felt the room spinning around him. None of this made sense. None of this felt real. But the Empress continued. "A silent war approaches," she said, "and I want someone beside me who understands survival, not politics, not glory, not fear." She extended her hand toward him, a gesture no one had ever witnessed before. "Jace Orion," she said, "will you serve as my closest guard?" His life, his normal world, his quiet hangar shifts, all of it hung in the balance. He looked at her hand, glowing with power. He looked at the soldiers staring at him in disbelief. And he looked at the path that would change his destiny forever. Jace took a breath, a deep, shaking breath, and reached out his hand. "Empress," he said, "I accept." The human who broke protocol. The moment Jace accepted the Empress's hand, the entire hangar exploded with whispers. No one could understand how a human mechanic had just become the closest guard to the most powerful woman in the galaxy. But the Empress did not wait for opinions. She turned, motioning him to follow. Her long silver cape flowed behind her like a river of light. Her guards marched in tight formation, and Jace hurried to keep up, still shocked by everything happening around him. They entered a private transport chamber. The doors sealed with a soft hiss, and the air grew strangely warm. Only the Empress, Jace, and 2 elite guards were inside. The Empress spoke without looking back. "You will report directly to me now. No chain of command. No middle officers." Jace nodded slowly. "Yes, Empress," he said, unsure of anything. One of the elite guards glared at him. The alien warrior's armor was thick and dark, covered with ancient runes. "You dare speak so casually to the Empress?" the guard growled. "She is not your equal." But the Empress lifted her hand slightly, a signal powerful enough to silence him instantly. "He will speak as I allow. He is not a normal guard." Jace felt his stomach twist. What did that even mean? What did she truly want from him? The transport lifted off the ground, traveling upward toward the royal spire. The vibration hummed through the floor beneath their feet. Jace finally gathered the courage to speak again. "Empress, may I ask something?" "You may," she said, without turning. "Why did you choose me?" he asked softly. "There are thousands of warriors stronger than me, smarter than me, better trained. I do not understand." The Empress's reflection in the metal door shifted as she finally looked at him. Her eyes seemed to see straight into his thoughts. "Strength is common, but clarity is rare." She stepped closer, her voice lowering. "There is a war coming, one that cannot be fought with muscle alone." Jace swallowed hard. What kind of war? Before she could answer, the transport shook violently. The lights flickered. The floor lurched sideways. The Empress instantly raised her hand. A shimmering barrier of blue energy wrapped around her, Jace, and her 2 guards. "Brace yourselves," she commanded. The transport slammed to a stop. Sparks rained from the ceiling. The metal walls groaned as something powerful impacted the outside. The guards drew their plasma blades, glowing bright red. Jace had no weapon at all. He stood frozen, his heart pounding. The Empress's voice cut through the chaos like cold steel.
They found us sooner than expected. Jace's eyes widened. Who found us? She didn't answer. Instead, she stepped forward as the chamber doors exploded open. A blast of hot air and smoke rushed inside. Dark shapes moved in the haze, armored and fast. Assassins, and not ordinary ones. These were the Empress's most feared enemies, silent, masked, deadly. The kind of killers who were said to bring death to entire bloodlines. They lunged forward, red blades in their hands, their movements faster than Jace had ever seen. The elite guards jumped forward to intercept, clashing swords, sparks flying through the dark chamber. The Empress lifted her arm and unleashed a wave of radiant energy. It blasted through the smoke, hurling 3 assassins into the wall. Jace stumbled back, his mind racing. He was not a fighter. He was not trained for this. He was nothing compared to these warriors. Yet something deep inside him refused to run. A strange instinct, a fierce heat rising in his chest. He grabbed a fallen metal pipe from the floor and held it like a makeshift weapon. One assassin rushed toward the Empress from her blind side. Jace moved without thinking. He swung the pipe with all his strength. The metal cracked against the assassin's helmet, sending him staggering. The Empress turned sharply. Her eyes widened, not with fear, but with surprise. "Human, you should not have been able to see him." Jace blinked. "What do you mean?" "These assassins move faster than normal senses can detect, yet you reacted before I could warn you." Before he could respond, another assassin leaped forward. This one larger, stronger, and wrapped in black armor carved with ancient scars. He slammed Jace against the wall. The breath left his body. Pain shot through his ribs. The assassin hissed, "You should not exist!" The Empress took a step forward, her voice icy. "Release him!" The assassin laughed. "Your prophecy breaks today." "Then you know nothing," the Empress replied. Her hand glowed with white-blue fire. Energy crackled through the air. She unleashed a blast that shattered the assassin's armor and sent him crashing across the chamber. Jace collapsed to the floor, coughing. The Empress knelt beside him, her voice suddenly soft. "Are you harmed?" "I'm fine," he said, breathing hard. Her gaze held something new. Not fear, not anger, something almost like relief. "You are more important than you realize, and soon you will understand why I chose you."
The secret the Empire tried to bury. The elevator chamber lay in ruins. Sparks flickered across shattered metal. Smoke curled into the air like dark fingers reaching for the ceiling. Jace sat on the floor, still breathing hard, bruised, confused, and trying to understand why assassins were hunting him, a simple human mechanic. The Empress rose slowly, her armor glowing with faint cracks of light. Her expression was calm, far too calm for someone who had just survived an assassination attack. Her 2 elite guards examined the wreckage while keeping a tight formation around her. But the Empress's eyes never left Jace. Not for a second. Not since the moment he struck the assassin with impossible speed. "Empress," Jace said, still catching his breath. "What is happening? Why are they coming for me?" She stepped closer, her voice low. "They are not after you, Jace," she said. "They are after what you represent." Jace frowned. "I don't represent anything. I fix ships." Her gaze softened, but her words did not. "You represent a truth they fear." Before Jace can ask more, the transport doors above them opened. A new group of soldiers rushed in, Empress loyalists this time, not assassins. They bowed deeply. "Your Majesty, the palace is secure. We are ready to escort you to the high chamber." The Empress nodded. "Prepare a private path." Then she looked at Jace. "You will come with me." Jace blinked. "Me? Now?" "Yes," she said, offering her hand again. "There is something you must see, and something you must learn."
He hesitated only a second before taking her hand. The moment he did, a faint warmth pulsed through him, like a soft current of energy flowing from her palm into his. It wasn't painful. It wasn't frightening. It felt familiar. The Empress studied his reaction silently. Then she released his hand and walked forward. Jace followed, still shaken, still unsure, but unable to deny the strange pull inside him. The High Chamber of Truth. They entered the royal spire through a hidden corridor. The walls were lined with glowing symbols and floating shards of ancient crystal. This place was older than the Empress's reign, older than the empire itself. Even Jace could feel it, the weight of history, the whisper of something powerful and ancient. In the center of the chamber stood a massive stone tablet, carved with strange symbols that seemed to shift and move as he stared at them. "What is this place?" he whispered. "The Chamber of Truth," the Empress replied. "No one enters here unless I allow it." Her guards stayed outside. Only she and Jace stepped into the heart of the room. She approached the stone tablet. Her armor glowed as she placed her hand on the ancient surface. The carvings flared to life, filling the chamber with blue-gold light. Jace stepped back in awe. The light swirled around the Empress, then around him. A strange energy wrapped around his skin like warm mist. "What is this?" he asked, voice trembling. "The prophecy," she said quietly, "written long before your species touched the stars." Jace felt his heart stop for a beat. "Prophecy?" She nodded, turning toward him. Her face, usually cold and unbreakable, carried a rare softness. "A prophecy that speaks of a human." Jace blinked. "A human? Me?" "Yes," she said, "and that is why the assassins want you dead." He felt the floor tilt beneath him. "I'm nobody, Empress. Why would any prophecy mention me?" "Not you," she said, "not by name. Something inside you." Jace stared at her confused. "What do you mean, inside me?" She stepped close, lifting a glowing sphere from the table. Inside it swirled two lights, one the color of her empire's energy, the other a deep golden shade Jace had never seen. "This," she said, "is the mark of the Guardian." Jace felt a shock run through him. "Guardian? I'm not a warrior." "You do not have to be," she said gently. "You were born with something rare." She placed the glowing sphere near his chest. The golden light inside it pulsed, then pulsed again, as if answering something inside him. The Empress watched closely, her voice lowering into a whisper. "I suspected it when you stood before me without fear. I confirmed it when you struck the assassin. But now the truth is undeniable." She lifted her gaze, her eyes glowing faintly. "You possess a dormant ability humans forgot long ago." He shook his head. "No, that's impossible. Humans don't have special abilities." A tiny smile touched her lips. "That is the lie your species believed, because the truth was buried." Jace stepped back, overwhelmed. "Empress, I don't understand any of this." "You will," she said, "because the war approaching cannot be fought without you." Before he could respond, a deep sound echoed behind them. The chamber trembled, the lights flickered. The Empress spun around, her eyes narrowing. Someone breached the palace shields. Jace's heart raced. "Another assassin team?" "No," she said. "This is worse." The ancient tablet behind them cracked down the center. A dark mist seeped from the fracture, swirling like a living shadow. The Empress grabbed Jace's arm, pulling him close. "Stay behind me," she commanded. The mist formed into a towering shape, neither solid nor smoke.
Its voice echoed through the chamber like 1,000 whispers speaking at once. "So the human has awakened," it hissed. "Then the prophecy truly begins." Jace felt the air turn cold, his breath caught in his throat. The Empress stepped forward, blade of pure energy forming in her hand. "You are not welcome here," she growled. The shadow laughed, a deep, rattling sound that shook the chamber. "The human belongs to us," it whispered. "His destiny is to bring your empire to its knees." Jace froze. "Me? What are you talking about?" The shadow extended a hand made of swirling darkness toward him. "You will learn soon, child of two worlds." The Empress positioned herself protectively between them. "No," she said, fiercely. "He is mine." The shadow smiled with glowing teeth. "We shall see." The chamber shook as the shadow dissolved into the air, leaving only silence and fear behind. Jace stared at the Empress. What was that thing? His voice was steady, but her eyes betrayed concern. "An enemy older than my empire," she said. "And now they know the truth about you." She placed her hand gently on his shoulder. "Jace, you are no longer just a mechanic." He looked into her eyes, fear mixing with something new, something dangerous and powerful growing inside him. "What am I then?" he whispered. The Empress took a slow breath. "You," she said softly, "are the key to the war that will decide the future of two worlds."
The power that should not exist. The shadow's voice still echoed inside Jace's head long after it vanished. He stood frozen in the ancient chamber, breath unsteady, mind racing. The Empress placed a firm but gentle hand on his shoulder, grounding him, pulling him back from panic. "You are safe," she said softly, "for now." Jace swallowed hard. "Empress, that thing knew me. It spoke like it had been waiting for me." She nodded slowly, her expression grave. "It has been." Jace felt his heart drop. "You mean, this prophecy, this war, it's all real?" "Yes," she replied, "and it has begun." The chamber doors burst open. Her elite guards rushed in, weapons raised, armor humming with energy. "Your Majesty, the palace shields are failing," one guard reported. "Unidentified entities are breaching the outer halls." Jace felt cold fear twist in his gut. "They're here, the shadows." The Empress turned to her soldiers, her voice regaining its command. "Seal the spire. No one enters this chamber without my order." The guards saluted and sprinted out, sealing the massive doors behind them with thick metal locks. The Empress turned back to Jace, her bright blue eyes scanning him carefully. "We do not have much time," she said. "There is something your people were never told, a truth erased from human history." Jace took a step back. "Empress, who am I?" She walked toward the ancient tablet, placing her hand across the cracked surface. The carvings glowed again, faint, damaged, but still alive. "Long before my empire existed, humans were not the weak species the galaxy sees today." Jace blinked. "What?" "You were powerful, capable of channeling energy in ways even my people envied." Jace shook his head. "No, humans can't do any of that." "Not anymore," she said, "because someone sealed your abilities generations ago." Jace felt the room tilt. A sealed ability, a forgotten power. "Why would anyone do that?" he asked, voice trembling. "To protect you," she replied, "because if your power returned, the ancient enemy would come for you."
Jace thought of the voice, the shadows, the cold threat. And now they have. Yes, she said, and soon they will come with everything they have. Before he could respond, the chamber walls shook violently. Dust fell from the ceiling. A loud crack echoed through the spire. The Empress's eyes flashed with urgency. "They are breaking in," she said. "We must leave now." She pulled Jace toward a hidden exit, but halfway across the room, the lights dimmed. Shadows gathered along the floor, creeping like black smoke. "Empress," Jace whispered. "They're already here." The shadows rose, forming dark figures with glowing cracks of red energy. They were not assassins. They were something far worse. Shadowborn, the ancient enemy's true warriors. 3 of them stepped forward, their voices overlapping like different echoes of the same whisper. "The human is ours. He carries the forgotten spark. He will open the sealed gate." Jace backed away, shaking. "I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not opening anything." The Shadowborn hissed together. "It is not your choice." One of them lunged forward, faster than sound. The Empress blocked with a burst of energy. Her blade clashed with the creature's shadow arm, sparks of light and darkness exploding across the room. "Jace, run!" she commanded. "Get to the exit." But Jace didn't move. He couldn't leave her, not after everything she had done to protect him, not when she was the only one who understood what was happening to him. Another Shadowborn rushed at him. Jace stumbled back, unarmed, terrified, but something inside him stirred. A heat, a pressure, a spark in his chest that pulsed like a heartbeat. The Shadowborn slashed at him. Jace threw his arm up in panic, and something impossible happened. A burst of golden light exploded from his hand. It was raw, uncontrolled, blinding. The Shadowborn screamed as the light struck its body, dissolving part of its shadow form into dust. Jace gasped, staring at his glowing hand. What did I just do?" The Empress fought 2 Shadowborn at once, but her eyes widened at the sight. "It has awakened," she whispered. "So soon." The Shadowborn hissed in fury. "The human is dangerous. He cannot be allowed to grow." They rushed toward him again, faster, more desperate. Jace stumbled back, but the golden energy pulsed again, this time spreading across his entire arm. A shield of light formed around him, glowing brighter with every heartbeat. The Empress jumped between him and the attackers, her voice hard as steel. "You will not touch him." The golden shield expanded outward. The Shadowborn recoiled with shrieks of pain, their forms flickering like dying flames. The chamber shook with the force of his energy. Crystals cracked, ancient symbols flickered. The golden light burned brighter. Jace screamed, not in fear, but an overwhelming sensation. The power felt too big, too hot, too alive inside him. "Jace!" the Emperor shouted, grabbing his arm. "You must control it." "I can't. I don't know how." She pressed her forehead to his, her voice low, steady, guiding. "Listen to me. The power answers your emotions. Focus, breathe, slow your fear." Jace forced himself to breathe. The golden light pulsed slower, calmer. The shield stabilized. The Empress smiled faintly. "Good." The remaining Shadowborn backed away, hissing in frustration. "This is not the end. The human will fall. The prophecy will be ours." They vanished into smoke, retreating through cracks of darkness in the chamber walls. Silence fell. Jace collapsed to his knees, exhausted. The Empress nubbed beside him, her hand on his back. "You did well," she whispered. "Better than I expected." Jace stared at his still glowing hand. "Empress, what am I becoming?" Her answer was soft.
"A guardian," she said, "the only one who can stand between my empire and the darkness returning." Jace lifted his eyes to hers. "But I don't know how to control any of this." She offered her hand again. "Then I will teach you, and together we will face what comes next."
The human who changed an empire. Jace struggled to stand as the last flicker of golden light faded from his hands. His body felt heavy, every muscle trembling from the sudden burst of power he had never known existed within him. The Empress supported him, her grip firm but gentle. "Easy," she said. "Your body is adjusting." Jace shook his head slowly. "This power, it doesn't feel like mine." "It is," she said, her voice calm. "But you have carried it in silence your entire life." He took a shaky breath. "Why now? Why did it awaken today?" She looked at him with an expression he had never seen before. Not command, not cold authority, but sincerity. "Because you finally stepped into the path fate prepared for you." Before he could answer, a loud alarm rang across the chamber. Voices echoed through distant hallways. Weapons clashed, soldiers shouted, explosions rumbled like thunder. The Empire was under full attack. Not just assassins, not just shadows, but a full invasion. The Empress stood tall, her armor glowing brighter as she summoned her royal energy. "We must reach the throne core," she said. "If the enemy seizes it, the entire empire falls." Jace felt fear rise again, but this time something else rose with it. Determination, a fire inside him that refused to die. They ran through the collapse-damaged corridors. The palace trembled with each impact. Statues shattered, crystal walls cracked, guards sprinted to defensive posts. Flashes of red and blue energy lit the halls as battles erupted everywhere. Shadowborn poured through the cracks in reality like liquid darkness, their whispers crawling through the air. "Find the human. Take the spark. Break the prophecy." Jace tightened his fists. His hands glowed again, faint, unstable, but real. "I won't run anymore," he whispered. The Empress looked back at him, pride in her eyes. "You no longer walk behind me," she said. "You walk beside me." The words filled him with a strength he didn't know he needed. Together, they pushed forward, fighting through waves of shadow creatures, dodging collapsing pillars, moving through fire and falling debris. But when they reached the final chamber, the grand core hall, they froze. Something massive had broken through the floor. A creature taller than a war mech, made of shifting shadow and red flame. Its voice rumbled like an earthquake. "Human, you cannot escape your destiny." Jace felt the same cold fear as before, but he also felt the Empress's presence beside him, strong and unshaken. "Do not listen to it," she said. "Your destiny is not theirs to decide." The Shadow Titan lifted an arm made of living darkness and slammed it toward them. Jace reacted instinctively. Golden light burst from his hands again, forming a shield around both him and the Empress. The impact shook the entire hall, but the shield held. Jace gasped. "It listened to me." "It responds to your heart, not your fear," the Empress said.
The Shadow Titan roared with rage. "You are incomplete, human. You cannot win." Jace stood tall now, the fear burning away. "I don't need to be complete to protect her," he said, voice steady. "And I'm not fighting alone." The Empress drew her energy blade, glowing with fierce blue fire. "I stand with him," she declared, "and together we will end you." The Shadow Titan charged. The Empress leapt forward with lightning speed, striking with precision. Jace followed, golden power swirling around his arms like living flame. Their powers collided with the Titan in a burst of blue and gold light. The chamber shook violently, the shock wave ripping through the stone walls. The Shadow Titan roared again, stumbling back as cracks formed across its dark body. "This is impossible," it hissed. "The prophecy said the human must fall." Jace stepped forward, energy blazing from his hands. Then the prophecy was wrong. He raised both hands. Golden light surged outward, stronger than ever. The Shadow Titan shrieked as the light enveloped it, tearing apart its shadow form. Its body crumbled into dust, dissolving into sparks of fading darkness. Silence followed. A deep, powerful silence that filled the entire hall. Jace collapsed to one knee, exhausted. The Empress rushed to his side, holding him up. "You did it," she whispered. "You defeated something even my empire feared." Jace shook his head weakly. "We did it." She smiled, a real smile, warm and rare. "Yes," she said, "we did." The remaining shadows retreated, their whispers fading into nothing. The palace alarms quieted. Soldiers moved through the corridors, reporting victory, securing the halls. But Jace didn't hear any of it. He only heard the Empress's voice and the steady beat of his own heart. "Empress," he whispered, "what happens now?" She touched his face gently, a gesture no one had ever seen from her. "Now," she said, softly, "you train." Jace blinked. "Train?" "Yes," she said. "You will learn to control your power. You will learn what it means to be a guardian, and you will stand by my side, not as a mechanic, but as the protector fate chose for me." Jace stared at her, stunned. "You really believe I can do this?" Her eyes glowed with soft blue fire. "I chose you," she said, "and I do not choose wrong." Jace felt something inside him shift. Hope, courage, strength, everything he thought he lacked, everything he thought he could never be. He rose to his feet slowly, still bruised, still tired, but no longer afraid. "Then I'll stand with you," he said, "as long as you need me." Her expression softened. "I will always need you, Jace Orion." And in that moment, in the heart of a broken palace, under the glow of ancient lights, a simple human mechanic became something the galaxy had never seen before. A guardian reborn, a protector chosen by destiny, the human who changed an empire.